So, let me begin the lecture on economics of patent. As a part of my second lecture on economics of IPR, let me begin this lecture on economics of patent. So, this lecture is going to discuss various economic theories involved in patent. To begin with, when we say patent, what comes in our mind? Basically, patent is an exclusive right approved to a inventor to have power over the use of an invention for a specific period. Such rights are basically authorizing a temporary monopoly to the inventor, which is one of the way to rewarding inventive activity. So, the point is patent is providing you a monopoly power. So, what is basically monopoly in economics? So, mono means single and poly means market. Single market, when we have a single market for an inventor due to an exclusive rights approved by some of the authority in a country, that is the patent, because those exclusive rights are basically on the discovery or invention by some individual, and that rights is valid for some specific years. So, monopoly is a market structure in which a product is supplied by a single firm. A single firm is having the capacity to supply the product for the entire world, and if the world is interconnected, interdependent, it means that a firm is able to supply the product from domestic market to the international market. So, through patent rights, which is an very important and exclusive rights today, a firm is having the capacity to supply the product, to own the product, to hold the entire power of distribution of that product and the price determination of that product for many years. So, one important point is the price. The second important point is the supply. Third important point is the period. So, through patent, a firm is able to control the price. A firm is not only able to control the price, but having the monopoly to control the price. A firm is having the monopoly to control the supply, and firm is having the monopoly to have these two, price and supply, for a specific period. So, and that specific period is in years. So, patent is really a source of monopoly with these points. Point number 1, that is price; point number 2, that is supply; point number 3, that is period. So, with all these points, we find that a patent owner or a firm which have the patent is having the monopoly on the price, and not only on the price, but also on the supply of the product. Whether the firm is is able to supply the product in a particular economy or not, that decision will be taken by the patent owner. And whether the firm will allow someone to reproduce the product through a license or not, that will be again a subject matter for the patent owner. So, the more the difference between the cost of production and price, the more monopoly profit incurs. So, we have seen that there are two types of price in the market. So, if we say that the price, like if we say that the price which is PC, the competitive price, or if you say the price which is PM, which is the monopoly price, if a owner is having the patent rights, if a owner is having patent rights, the owner is authorized to charge, or you can say automatically a owner is having authority to have the price which will not be the competitive price but it will be a monopoly price. So, what is the difference between these two price? If we can see here, when a person or a firm is charging the PM, that is the monopoly price, a price for the innovation, that in this diagram you can see here that the PM is little higher price than the PC, which is the competitive price, because when it is competition, large number of firms are ready to supply the innovative product, and we are finding that in that case we have a different quantity supplied. So, when you have PC, you have QC, the competitive quantity products are supplied, but when you have PM, you have a different quantity, that is QM, that is the monopolist quantity. So, this QM, the QM is always less in the quantity compared to, so this QM is less compared to QC, because this particular quantity is the quantity supplied by the competitive firm, where the QM is the quantity supplied by the monopolistic firm. So, on higher price, on higher price, it is not only the price which is high, but it is also one of the controlled quantity, which is QM, which is supplied by the monopolist in the market. So, there are two demand curves shown in this diagram, where we are finding that in one demand curve we have this particular QM quantity supplied, while we have another demand curve on which the QC quantity is supplied, and two different quantity is shown here, and it shows that the higher price is not only the merit, or you can say the condition of the monopoly, but also the lower quantity supplied is seen in the case of monopoly. So, under monopoly, the price and quantity of innovation is determined as shown in figure 1, because both these price and quantity is a different feature which is not available in other markets. So, some inventions create natural monopoly is a condition which is the fall in the average cost with increase in the scale of production. So, you are once you have the patent rights, when you have you become the owner of the patented product, or you are the owner of the patented items, you do not have to again go back for researching on that particular product. You have a cost incurred, but you do not have to incur the again the similar cost in the production. You might be having some variable cost in the process of production, but ultimately your cost of production fall dramatically, but you have the chance to increase in the scale of production, as one can find here in the figure 2, that on a higher price you have the similar quantity produced, but that price is the price which is shown here as the P is higher than the P1, and P1 is the price where the average cost is also matched. This was the price P1 where you are equal to the average cost of the product, but we are finding a price which is P higher than the P1, and this particular price is this particular price P1 is the price above the average cost. So, we find here that a monopolist is not really considering the price which will be even the equal to the AC and higher than the marginal cost, but a monopolist is deciding a price which is much higher than the average cost price. So, Microsoft Corporation is the best example of natural monopoly enjoying huge monopoly profits, because once a software is patented, you have the entire world to sell that software, you have a larger scale of production going on, but you are not really having a more cost added in the production. Your average cost is going to decline, but ultimately you are not really deciding your price equal to the average cost, but you are charging the customer more higher price compared to the average cost. So, it is case of natural monopoly. Like copyright, we also find that patent has also narrow and broad division, and the breadth of patent refers to a condition in which an awarded patent covers the field to which it pertains. Broad patents are the patents which provides widest scope of production, but also present biggest target for validity challenges. When patent is broad in nature, it means that you are patenting not only a small composition, but you are patenting the entire process. You are patenting all the compositions and the steps involved in reaching to a final product, but you have a large chance for validating the truth. It may be challenged, but the narrow patent is usually refers to the precisely one exceptional invention, a very small composition which you have evolved based on the previous work done by another inventor. You have added a small change in that, and now you are having the patent on that. That comes under the narrow patent system. So, broad patent facilitates original research, but the narrow patents encourage the development. So, that is the difference between the broad and narrow patent. Process of product development is involving different steps. One of the step is the research, then the pioneering, the discovery, commercial improvement, and then the final development. Because this process involves a huge investment at the level of research, at the level of pioneering discovery, for the commercial improvement, a final developed product cannot be out without these steps. So, it is important that those who are investing in patents or who wants to really hold the patent ownership, they wants to enjoy the benefit of that patent rights for long, because they do not want to compromise with the cost involved in patenting those, and once they are having the patent ownership, they are free to really monopolize the market, because patent provides them the monopoly rights. So, broad patent, if social value of investment on research is higher than the social value of investment on developing applications, patents should be broadened. Patent protection should be broader for original inventions having little stand-alone value. But if the social value of investment on research is less than the social value of investment on developing applications, patents should be narrowed. Patent protection should be narrower for original inventions having large stand-alone value. So, the duration of patent, it refers to number of years the patent has been granted to the owner. Ideally, there would be different patent duration for each invention. It is obvious that with increase in duration, the investor enjoy benefits for more innovation. So, if you have longer duration period, the patent owner is having more time to enjoy the monopoly rights. So, this particular diagram shows that marginal social cost and marginal social benefit of patent protection, and the duration of the patent. So, if we have a larger years of duration of the patent, we are finding here that more you have larger years of patent, less you have marginal social cost involved, but when you have larger years, you have marginal social benefits involved. But there will be a point of equilibrium where you have to have a equilibrium in the society, because duration of the patent should not only favor the firms, but it should also favor the society as a whole. So, there will be a optimum patent life, and the new Patent Act in India and in other countries based on the TRIPS agreement provides an opportunity to really enjoy the benefit of patented products for certain years. And why it is so? Because the investor and the firm who has the patent ownership, they must enjoy the benefit of investing in the patented items. So, patent rights basically deal with information related to invention, innovations and technological improvement. The patent is having certain features of public goods. Those features are non-excludability and non-rivalry, which leads to the undersupply of inventions or less than optimum level of invention, which refers to the market failure. So, if I am having the patent rights, others are patent rights cannot be excluded in different parts, and in terms of consumption, if I am really having the patent rights, those rights are non-rival in nature, because others cannot really claim on my on anybody's patented or patent ownership, because that is the sole ownership. But the point is everybody do not want to invest, because it requires long period of time for the investment, and getting patent rights is not really easy, because you have to have a long waiting time for patent awarded, but you are not sure that whether the time and investment in terms of money is going to really give you back the return or not, and even if it is patented, whether your product will have the market value or not. So such sense of insecurity and such sense of uncertainty is involved in the entire process of patenting. But the fact is that patent protects and stimulates the innovations and inventions by giving return on the innovator's investment, by disclosing knowledge and information, because in case of patent you have to have disclose the information before getting the patent rights, that whatever formula, whatever composition, whatever steps you have taken, that has to be explained. So, patent basically impedes the restricting use of knowledge, because if one has the patent rights, it will not be it is not going to allow others to really go for the similar product or for the same product using the same composition and same formula, because you have the sole right reserved to continue with your power, monopoly power on that particular product. And by creating difficulties in determination of boundaries, and you have a set rules, you are not allowing everybody to really make any other product out of your contribution, out of your research. So, patent may possibly discourage innovation and therefore reducing knowledge spillover, as shown in figure 4.2, and 4.1 is providing us the information, providing us the idea that innovation and economic growth and the strength of patent protection is positively related, while in case of second diagram we are finding that more you have the strength of patent protection, innovations are not going to really have always the positive relation, but it is going to have a negative relation. So, there are two different opinions. One gives us the positive relationship, the idea of positive relationship between IPR and innovation, and the second figure gives us the idea that it is not going to always have the positive relationship, but it has to have again the negative or inverse relationship after a certain point of time. So, there are two different views. One supports the positive aspect, one supports that it is going to really give a very negative result of a strong patenting system. So, whether a strong patent protection increases economic welfare or not, major aim of providing patent is to maximize welfare and to minimize loss. So, the welfare effect of patent protection can be explained through a partial equilibrium, as shown in figure 5 here. In case of patent protection, total welfare is shown as DEGSM, but in case of non-patent protection, the social welfare, total welfare is equal to DE-S. So, it shows that both conditions are not equal, and it is up to the strong sense of patent protection that how much welfare you want to really provide it back to the society. In terms of international trade and patent protection, one of the diagram, figure 6, which shows that there are two types of locus of efficient prospect of formatting the efficient protection system is available by the north and south. And in this diagram we find that OQ is the globally efficient patent, where the E is the Nash equilibrium condition, where we have two different curves intersecting. One is the patent efficient patent system evolved by the south, and one is the efficient patent system evolved by the north, indicated by NN and SS. So, this E shows that there is not any cooperation between the south and north, because in an open economy the determination of efficient patent protection is not simple, because one country's policy affects others and cross border externalities are available today. So, Grossman and Lai studied efficient patent protection in non-cooperative regime through model of Nash equilibrium, as explained in figure 6, that north and south is not really having a similar system of efficient patent system, patent protection system. So, there is a non-cooperative game going on, and that is not really going to give us a sense of a very equal opportunity in the field of international trade related to the patented item. So, empirical evidence suggests us that East Asian economies, South Korea, Hong Kong, shows the positive effect of softer patent regimes on welfare, while the experience of countries like India, Brazil, South Africa shows the negative impact of TRIPS on economic well-being, which is considered as the greater protection of the patent rights. The trade-off between the social benefits of improved innovation and the social cost of restricted use of innovation determines the optimum level of patent protection. So, like copyright, we can also find here the economic justification for patent protection. Patent rights are preventing the free riding problem. It creates incentive for private entrepreneurs. Optimum allocation of resources are available if you are providing an incentive to the patent owner. So, the researcher, the scientist, the investors are going to really allocate their time and resources for the further development, further inventions. Optimum production of inventions, if you have enough time for the innovation devoted, you are coming out with a optimum level of production. And since the entire patent system is incentive based, so once a person is having patent right ownership on a patented item, they are able to really have the control on that particular product, having the exclusive market rights on that particular product for longer period of time. So, they are really able to monopolize the product for years and years, and that is the incentive. On the basis of that, a society can really have the optimum allocation of resources and the optimum production as an outcome of those resources. So, it prevents society to pay additional opportunity cost on the way of production, because if you do not have such a strong patent system, you have large number of insecurity and uncertainty. The investors are losing its opportunity, and they are less motivated to invest, and certainly it leads to the market failure through externalities, because those who are not involved in the process of patent ownership and not involved in really paying for that, paying for those inventions, are really enjoying the benefit of those materials which is patented, but it is really in the hand of the free riders. So, free ride basically invites the market failure. So, after explaining these diagrams, especially in most of our diagrams, if we can just see here that when we have seen in our first diagram that monopolist is not really charging a low price, because monopolist is charging a high price, and in this diagram we have seen that a monopolist profit is equal to PEF P1 P dash, and it means that a monopolist profit is much higher from the level of average cost, which we have seen in the beginning. So, if monopolist is charging a higher price, it means that that is the price which is not the normal price, that is the price which is the abnormal price, and through that price and through the control mechanism on the quantity, a patent owner is really having a control on both quantity as well as on the price, knowing the fact that they are also having a third factor in their hand, and that is the time factor. So, the patent rights, the ownership of patent ownership on a product is really giving us a sense of security, for sense of maximizing the profit for years and years, and that is the one of the incentive and one of the merit of the patent system, especially when the patent system is product based, not based on the process. Because nowadays after the TRIPS agreement, the entire patent system is the product based. You have to come out with a new product, and that has to be patented. The process patent system is not really going to be accepted at all. We are really investing a lot in the process of in the process of getting a new product. So, in that case, when we have to have such incentives and we have to have a broad patent which may be validated and challenged by other owners, other patent aspirants, in that case it is important to really have the very tough competition in getting the patent rights, very challenging conditions to get the patent rights. It is not so easy to have the patent rights because it involves the process of research, pioneering the discovery, improving the product for the commercial purpose, and to launch the product and to develop the product for the market. So, the entire process of product development, a huge investment is required. So, in return the monopoly profit gives them an incentive back to them. And as we have seen in our another diagram, that there will be an equilibrium in the market to have the marginal social benefit and marginal social cost for the patent protection. And in one more diagram we have seen that many economists are in favor of a very positive relationship between the innovation and economic growth and the strength of patent protection, but some of the economists are also making this conclusion, finding this conclusion that it is not going to always give you a positive return on the strength of patent protection, because more you have a very strict system of patent protection, innovation and investing in the innovation is not going to really have a very good return, because investors are worried that whether it will be the formula or composition and the content and the steps will be challenged by anyone, and then getting patent rights are not so easy. So, in conclusion, we can say here that patent protection from economic point of view, it is important tool for innovation and information. So, in fact, if patent protection is weak, we can simply say that innovation and information is not evolving any tool for the innovation is not so easy, because people will certainly have more insecurity in terms of developing any product. So, economic value of patent protection is to a large extent based on the economics of monopoly, economics of information, because once you have certain information on a product, you are announcing that information in public with lots of strength and merit, that this and this contribution is my contribution, and you are giving a free hand to anybody to challenge that information. And once nobody is in the world to challenge that information, you are having the monopoly power on the product, and then you are the sole authority, and you are having the exclusive marketing power to sell the product in the entire world. So, you have a large extent of patent protection is to a large extent based on the economics of monopoly, economics of information, economics of innovation, because you have innovated and you have the entire control on your innovation for many years, and so that basically makes you very strong in the market, because you have well informed the world that what you have done, and based on that validation by the cross examining of the of your data, then only you were awarded the patent. So, your innovation is unique and new, and there is a welfare involved, because as an investor I have invested for my own benefit, but the Adam Smith's invisible hand theory suggests us that there are certain invisible hands in that process, and society as a whole is getting the benefit of certain such innovations and patent. And moreover, you have the economics of trade involved in that, because trade related intellectual property rights is the right which makes us which gives us a very separate, a very independent tool in the world market today to put our product, to establish our product for the global market, because we are more liberalized market today. Our trading is in a very liberalized framework today, and we have all rights to control the unfair use or infringement of the patent rights by any other unauthorized users in the world. So, we will also have a separate discussion on the disputes, current disputes among the countries related to patent, copyright, trademark, after finishing the economic theory and economics of different types of intellectual property rights. So, based on this conclusion, we can say that like copyright, patent is also one of the important intellectual property which involves the monopolistic rights, which involves the economics of monopoly and economics of trade, welfare, innovation and information. So, I hope this lecture will give you certain idea that how economics of patent work today, why there is a war for patent rights, why there is a hurry for the patent rights, why world is really working hard for the patent rights, because there are certain economic benefits involved in that, and that benefit is the benefit of the time, benefit of the price, and the benefit of controlling the quantity in the world. Thank you.